So it is now 6:33. I'm going to call the Policy Committee meeting to order for the Board of Ed. Ian Thomas and Andrea Ackerman are in it, the board members on the committee that are in attendance. We have also Susan Austin, Superintendent, Anne Marie Mancini, Clint Kennedy, and Kate Brown in support. And I don't see any attendees. Nope, no attendees. Okay. So, Clint, are you okay running the tech for a little bit?
How so?
Do you want to, do you have the documents to project?
I don't know. Forgive me. I saw that AI was on the old business, but I was under the impression that it went through a first reading at the Board of Ed meeting the other night. So I'm here to answer questions. I can certainly try to dig up a new version or whatever, but I'm a bit in the dark, Ian, so forgive me.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just wondering if that was your intent. I do have the whole package downloaded, so I could just pull that up. So I'll project the document.
Cool. And again, forgive me, but if you could give me some background on why this is back to the subcommittee as opposed to moving towards a second reading on the Board of Ed, I'd love to know.
It's a good question. I don't have that background. But perhaps the superintendent or the assistant might.
That was my question too. Well, what's that doing here?
And I was in the dark as well because I had not seen this version. It looked new to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't know where it came from, but it might have been a remnant from when Matthew was here. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's get back on the agenda and then we'll get to that. So just a quick review of the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from Tuesday, August 19th.
Forgive my brain, but was Jody there?
On the 19th, yes.
Forgive my brain.
All right.
Was Jody there?
Yes.
He was
He
there.
was there, but I don't think he's on the, I don't think he's listed on who was there.
All right. So,
Was
so Andrea,
Susan
I'll add
Austin?
Dr. Ackerman, was that a motion to accept the minutes?
Not yet,
No, okay.
because if Jody was there, we need
No,
to
in order to
amend them.
discuss them, we gotta have a
Yeah.
motion. So I'll just move,
Oh.
I'll move that we accept the minutes.
Okay, then I'll second it, whatever.
Okay. All right, so now you're saying Jody's not on the list of people who are present?
But I'm thinking, and I
We can
think
add
that, I think as, so we would accept them as amended, right? That's what I was
Yeah.
waiting for.
Yep, so we can add Jody. Any other adjustments?
Anne Marie, were you there? So it
No.
doesn't say Anne Marie was there either.
Actually,
Anne
I was
Marie.
not, I was not present at the last policy
Oh,
committee meeting.
but you're sure Jody was?
I can confirm that.
Okay.
As was I.
And you were there too,
All right,
I
so
was.
we'll add Clint as well.
Clint too.
All right.
Was anybody else there? Was Leah there?
Who's that?
Leah. I don't know Leah's last name, the puppy person.
I don't think so.
Dog.
It was on the school climate only. Remember, we had to
Okay.
make another meeting
Oh,
just because we never got to school climate. So Denise was there. So
Oh,
maybe
okay.
Jody wasn't there.
But no, was this
Maybe.
one where we also discussed
I'm not sure.
for the canine
No,
policy?
no, this didn't have the K9.
Okay,
We had 2 meetings that month because we didn't get to school climate and we needed to.
got it.
Okay, all right. Maybe Jody wasn't there. Clint, you're as
that the
bad as
other-
I am. You make me feel good.
So the August 19th meeting, that was, I mean, we talked about AI a lot.
Yes.
I don't see that.
Well, you were there, right, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the August 19th minutes here and I don't see any mention of the AI policy.
Because we had 2 meetings that month. And I don't know if we've got the dates right, but we had one where AI was discussed, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And also we discussed, Leah's therapy
Oh,
notes.
okay,
And then
okay,
we didn't
okay. All
get
right.
to
This
this,
one I was
so we're
not,
gonna do this by itself.
right. Okay, so the 12th was the one
Okay.
that was all about AI. The 19th was all
okay,
climate.
Yes, that's right.
right.
All
You
right,
got
so
it.
I was not, yeah, so that's correct. I was not in attendance for the 19th meeting. So I'll take your word for it if Jody and Clint were there, because I was not.
No,
Um,
they weren't. They were at the other meeting on the 12th.
Okay, all right. So then we're all set.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we'll approve them as amended with no objection.
I don't know if we have to amend them, because I don't think they were wrong.
Oh, for the 19th, Jody and Clint were not
Let's
there.
just approve them. Who's gonna know? Is this the Roberts Rules person gonna come and shoot us? No.
I'll
No.
just double
Let's
check
just do it.
in the video to make sure. Ian,
this
you
day
said
and
you
age, you never
weren't
know.
there and they've got you as being there. You weren't there
All right,
at all?
we'll review the recordings and send an update if needed, and amend the minutes as needed, to account for any attendees that are not listed,
Okay.
if indeed that's the case. All right, so otherwise approved. Excuse me. So that brings us to agenda item P 6131.3273, generative AI. Do I have a motion to consider, or a motion to accept P 6131.3273?
Sure. Motion.
Okay. I'll second.
So we have one that says that's in green. That doesn't look familiar to me. And then the other one is in black with comments from Cave.
Mm-hmm.
And the comments from Cave are in red.
Right.
And I
So,
don't know if Jody Goler was the one who did the comments in red. I would
right.
assume so.
And I think these are notes that he made based on the discussion at the regular meeting in August.
Right. And it looks like the first one, the statement of purpose, he agrees with totally. It says, it appears to me that this
Mhm.
meets with the approval of the board. I have no suggestions for revisions. And I remember discussing this first part. Do you remember that, Clint?
I'm depending on the document you're talking about, but
It's
yes.
the one that says comments from Cade. It's in black.
So all black with red.
Right.
Got it. Yes, do have this up now.
Okay.
Yes, so there's section 1, there's no comments, no suggestion for revisions. There's a couple words choices, and then it looks like Jody took notes within this document. So I guess to go meta on this, it is just, forgive me, but I want to make sure I understand. Is it the board's decision that the first reading was not accepted, and then it's coming back for additional revisions to the subcommittee per additional comments from Cave?
No, my understanding is that it passed first reading, but was going back to committee as per our usual process, and was going to collect some notes from Jody based on the discussions that occurred at the meeting.
Okay.
So normally it goes, once up, once down, once back, and then once up again. Yeah, that's my memory of it anyhow.
Got it. Thank you.
Every policy gets 4 passes, two at the board level and 2 at the committee level.
So if that's the case, do we want to go red line by red line through this? Is that the prerogative of the chair here to do that?
Yeah, yeah, I think we will do that. Unfortunately, I'm looking to see if I have
Do you have the black copy with the
black
red?
ink version to project.
I'm putting it at the top of your inbox, Ian.
Thank you.
Sure.
I understand in a policy that the board could say that they believe in a collaborative approach and would like to see community involvement in this, but the regulations is what the superintendent then does with a committee. So there was a lot of discussion about the role of the superintendent versus the board and policy being, the general statement based on law, and then the regulations be, how are we going to approach this? And I can see that in a regulation, the superintendent could have a committee and bring people together and you could absolutely put that the board believes in a collaborative approach in the policy and expects to really hear from the community around how we're going to approach this policy. And that's where the committee would come in. That's what he's stating. This section prompted discussion over concerns related to the board and superintendent roles and responsibilities. While generally speaking, boards are advised to stick to the what and leave it up to the administration to determine the how. And the importance of AI and the attention it will require may perhaps require a committee, or a collaborative approach, as it said. The board's desire to determine this level of focus and the need for the committee is reasonable, but it is clearly a matter of debate, recognizing this dynamic. My policy recommendation would be to, what is he saying? I can't even read it. I need my glasses.
So he's basically saying recognizing
Soften the language.
Yeah.
Shall establish. But I
Yeah.
do think that we should separate out and get what the board expects to happen in a collaborative approach, but then the regulations is how it gets done.
Well, I recall this conversation from the committee prior to it going up to the board, and it seems like it kind of stayed at that discussion level at the board level. But I'm still of the mind that I think it's within the purview of the board to say that we want to see, some sort of broad-based approach, which would involve a committee either being designated or established to help the administration, make sure that they're gathering multiple perspectives. Even with the word shall, all that's saying is that, we expect that much, that there would be some motion in that, that would be step one. As to what that committee looks like, or if it's just another committee that already pre-exists and is being tasked with this duty, that's up to the superintendent and up to the administration. That is, I still think that gives broad latitude to the administration to operate, relatively freely. It just establishes a norm, one base level of expectation. But that's my thought on it. And be curious to hear everyone else's. Andrea, Dr. Ackerman.
Well, Ian, ask your question again.
The question is basically like, the debate, if I can boil it down and correct me if I'm not nailing this, Superintendent, but I believe the debate is, do we want to use the policy to direct the superintendent administration to either establish or designate a committee with whom they would work to oversee the artificial intelligence regulations, and how they're applied and adapted monitored and adjusted year after year. Do we want to, does the board want to direct the superintendent to do that within the policy? Or does the board want to allow the superintendent the discretion where we request or suggest that they establish or designate a committee to help manage the AI policies and regulations, but it's not required or
Right,
mandated, and therefore the superintendent could or could not, depending on their
Right.
discretion.
and that's where I come down. I don't think we should be directing the superintendent to do anything like this, or, I mean, there may be some circumstances under which we would, but I don't think we should.
Well, I
do
was
that.
saying, Ian, I was saying that you could absolutely talk about the collaborative approach and that you're expecting that to happen.
Mm.
Bringing people together, across from the district to be able to work with the superintendent, but you don't, and then the superintendent could then in the regulations say that I'll establish this committee. I mean,
That sounds reasonable to me.
I think you're getting the point across in the policy, that we do want a collaborative approach altogether. We all want that.
Right.
And then, so I think if we start naming people who should be on the committee, Anne Marie and I know a lot about committee work, and we have a lot of committees doing a lot of hard work. And, you really want a variety of people. You don't always want the same people, and you want them from all the different schools and all different levels. We're very used to having lots of committee work
So,
here.
if I could just interject with a clarifying question. So is your concern with the word shall, or is your concern with all of this?
I feel like if you wrote about the board's expectation to have a collaborative approach with regards to this, then allow the superintendent to form the committee and bring people on. You could state that you're expecting a collaborative approach, and that's with the will of the board. And then, how that happens, it can be put in regulations.
Okay.
I don't like setting precedents of doing anything like us directing the superintendent. I just don't like that. But in the regulations, when the superintendent says, I'm going to do this,
Yeah, I have to follow through.
that's go.
Anne Marie, do you have any comments?
I think that your suggestion is a good one. And I agree with what Jody is saying here about softening the language. The board requests the superintendent to consider, although I like your suggestion even better, about, including that language directly in the regulation that the committee will be established, and incorporating language in the policy about this collaborative approach. And I can, if you want me to think of some language that we can write into the policy, I certainly could work on that.
I'm just gonna try something here real quick.
Apologies for interrupting. We do have an attendee on a fire tablet that has not been promoted. I don't know if you're expecting an additional board member here or not, Ian. We don't know who that is.
I'm expecting Sean Corcoran to pop in around 7.
Okay.
It's almost that time. It might be him.
Is there any way to see is there any sort of identifier on that?
I can allow him to talk.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
hit that.
Let's see who it is.
Okay, he's allowed to talk now.
Attendee on the fire tablet. Is this board member Corcoran? Hello. Who is
Hello,
the,
can you hear me?
yeah, who is the attendee?
Hi, Ian, it's Miranda Chapman. I'm here to listen to the attendance discussion.
Oh, okay.
Thank you,
All right, I
Miranda.
wasn't sure if it was our other policy committee member.
Nope,
right.
just me. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Right.
Sorry about that.
No, no worries. Thanks for the notice. When I'm sharing screen, I have limited visibility. So
course.
if you're keeping an eye on the attendees, it could be a great assistance. What about just doing something simple like that, where we insert the board requests the superintendent establish or designate a committee to serve in an advisory capacity regarding matters.
I don't know why it has to be here. And I would pick either establish or designate the other.
Well, to the superintendent and Susan and Anne Marie's point, they're aware of committees that are already in existence that could be designated as ones that will take on this role, or maybe future superintendents might want to establish a whole new committee that's specifically tasked to it. So actually, I feel like having those two words there with the or gives more latitude, to the administration.
Okay, that's a reasonable explanation. Yep.
So the language as drafted now, as amended, would that soften? Anne Marie, I see your hand raised.
I think the only thing then that I would move to the regulation would be who the committee would be comprised of.
Yeah. Right. Anytime we're getting into the nitty gritty, we need to put that in regulations.
Exactly.
So red line the highlighted language.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't mind that, that this collaborative approach, I mean, I think we should state something about we believe in a collaborative approach. And, I guess the purpose of the committee is to study the evolving opportunities and challenges related
Okay.
to AI and teaching and learning, or however you want to say it.
I think we could probably accomplish that by doing. Dropping in a phrase like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that salvages the rest of the language of that paragraph, I believe.
You could just put that, combine them instead of it will work in an advisory capacity, which will work and then make it one sentence. Or to work in a collaborative fashion.
Or even better,
I
we'll
mean-
work collaboratively to study.
Yeah, I like
just
that.
trying to get it together.
Work collaboratively to study. I like that.
Mm.
In an advisory capacity to work collaboratively to study. I would make it one sentence.
Matters pertaining to GAI. To work collaboratively. To study. Oh, we got like a double two there.
Well, how
Yeah,
about,
I see that. Well, it's under collaborative approach. Why do we even need it?
so we're establishing or designating a committee to
Committee to
serve
serve
as an
as-
advisory capacity to study GAI's evolving, too many words.
Yeah, you don't even
How
need all
about,
that other stuff.
what if we put collaborative in front of committee? A collaborative committee to serve in an advisory capacity regarding matters pertaining to GAI to work to study GAI's, to study, actually get rid of that.
I don't know what a collaborative committee is, because committees are collaborative, right?
Okay. Well, you know, we don't necessarily need to have collaborative in there.
No, I don't,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, committee
Right,
implies
because it's,
any sensible committee is going to be broad-based,
right,
you know. Um,
and it's under collaborative. I think that's enough.
yeah. So it would read, the board requests the superintendent establish or designate a committee to serve in an advisory capacity regarding matters pertaining to GAI to study evolving opportunities and challenges as they relate to teaching and learning. This committee will also make recommendations
Yeah.
based on current GAI practices in all schools. Administrators will work and meet regularly with designated GAI advisory committee and will schedule a yearly presentation at a regular board meeting.
I would rather say we would regularly update our Board of Education, because it might not be yearly. It could be, you know, there's some things that I feel like I'm coming to you every month with. So I would just say that it would be regularly
Absolutely.
updating our Board of Ed. Could be in board notes. I mean, I just feel like you'll want to be, whether it's me or someone who follows me, you'll want to be advised on how those things are going, in maybe multiple ways.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there should be any years designated. I saw in another policy that there's a 5-year thing. That's ridiculous.
So I would
Regular
say
or-
that you're designating, they'll meet and work regularly with designated advisory committee and brief the board regularly, or update the Board of Education.
Right. I would want to just ensure that it would end up as, you know, it would involve some presentation as part of a meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Needs to be.
Yeah. So, and we'll schedule and we'll update.
Well, regularly update.
No, we already got regularly up here.
Well, I would just say
Oh,
regularly update the Board of Ed. I mean, that could happen we could put that in regulations, that could happen in board notes, that could happen at COWs where you can actually talk about it. Could happen at a
How
regular
about present updates?
mhm. So the board,
to the board.
yeah. And present means that you're going to do in person, not in some notes that somebody may read or may not read.
I know, that's
Exactly.
true. That's true, Andrea, although I do spend a lot of time on those notes.
I know I know.
But
And
But
part
even
of
when I
helps me
read them,
keep track of
sometimes
what
I
I've
miss,
said. It helps me to keep track that I know I've done it a couple times.
but sometimes, even when I read them, I miss stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes when I write them, I miss it.
Right.
Yeah, take out the work regularly, take that regular out of there and put it where the board is going to be updated regularly.
Got it.
That's where regular should go. the board, it's not that you're gonna work together regularly, but that you're gonna present it to the board on a regular basis.
Does that fit the bill there, Dr. Ackerman?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then, I'll move that we accept, this section 2 as amended.
Can we do something, Ian, and we'll regularly present instead of regular, because that suggests that there might be irregular updates.
Irregular updates. Well,
So
I mean,
we'll
that is a
present
possibility.
regularly, yeah. It is, I guess. Yeah, okay, that's
I
good.
like that. That sounds good.
All right, so, I'll move that we, accept section 2 as amended.
Yes, see, whatever,
All
whatever.
right.
How do you say that?
Well, I'll take that as a second, and
Second,
all in favor, I'll say aye.
I,
Aye, all right. Passed as amended. All right. Next section. So I'm just gonna take out these notes.
Now, what he writes at the end is he would suggest avoiding the word efficiencies because there's reasonable concern that AI will displace jobs, and we don't want people concerned about that. Instead, consider replacing with improving the organization in its mission to meet the needs of all students. That sounds much better. And it does look like these are elements
I'm sorry,
of operational
where,
concern.
Susan, I'm sorry, where are you? Oh,
It's
down
in
there.
red all the way at the bottom of that section 3.
Got it. Okay, so section 3. What was your recommended language?
Wasn't mine. I think it must have been
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
must have been the Cape Jody's language. He said that he wouldn't use efficiencies. Instead, he'd replace it with improving the organization in its mission to meet the needs of all students. So I think that's right above that red language. The superintendent will develop a process to assess and leverage GAI use across the district to achieve increased administrative efficiencies. But he says, instead, to improve the organization and its mission to meet the needs of all kids.
okay.
And actually, he's really recommending that this should be addressed in regulation. All of this. I was always trained to keep policy like short and sweet, like to follow the law, keep it brief, like a page or two, and then the regulations spell it all out.
I'm with you, and
But
I don't want to start writing policy that does what you're saying, and that is telling us how to do it. Policy should say what, and that's it.
I mean, I like good regulations. Don't get me wrong. I think we
Oh,
need them
absolutely.
because I need to know the how, and everybody else
Yeah.
does too. But I think
But
that
that's what
sometimes the how
helps.
can change,
Yeah,
based on what we've learned, and that's easier to
So,
take.
are you recommending, are you talking about all of this?
Yeah, that's what it says. Elements of operational concern to be addressed in regulations.
But as far as operational, so I could see that because these are very specific, everything that I've highlighted now. Those first two
Yeah.
sections where you got the bullet points and the numbers.
Yeah.
The section here where it says elements for administrative operational productivity and functionality, like that seems to be more just guidance.
Yeah, it though goes along with, because if you look above it, they talk about elements for students include
Mhm.
Elements for teaching staff will include, and elements for administration operation will include.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. That's
So
all.
it kind of goes along with it. And I don't even know, it lends itself with the productivity and functionality.
Mhm.
That could be related to efficiency. So we're really trying to get away from that, I think.
Hmm.
What is that? What do other people think? Thought? Anne Marie,
Read
Clint?
it.
Yeah, I'd
Really?
punt to the administration right now. I'm just kind of reading the notes here.
Yeah, I am of the mindset that less is more here, and that we really spell this out in regulations, especially
I'm
because of the
always up.
nature with which we're seeing this industry move.
I know.
Um,
Would change on us in a heartbeat.
yeah, honestly, as I've stated before, you know, I have extremely mixed and polemic feelings about the whole thing. So, I'm not opposed to the idea. This does seem to weigh the whole policy down.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's really concise in the beginning and it really says what we mean for it to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets into the, okay, so how are we going to do this?
Right now, I would humbly suggest that, we copy and paste this into a separate document and hand it
Yeah, we
off
could do
to
that.
admin.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. And it actually,
Yes.
because it highlights it elements for the regulation, we can bold it and just start. That can be the beginning of the regulations.
Mm-hmm. Oops. Wait, open these up. There we go.
And you're right about how things are going to change so quickly. I'm sure there was a policy in the past where it said the administration or the board shall maintain a barn for the horses. You know what I mean?
All right, so the whole of section 3, shift to regulations, shift and
I
adapt
think
to
so.
admin for regulations. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, me too. Is that a move? Is that a motion?
I'll move to remove section 3 and refer it to the administration to develop for regulations.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Aye. All right. That passes. 15 to admin.
And then number 4 really talks about this advisory committee, which I think that should go in regulations too. Because we're saying that it needs to be continuously reviewed and the committee would be doing that work. And I think we've already said that the superintendent would update the board at regular intervals. So I don't know if we need to restate that. I mean, we could also put it in regulations if we wanted.
It belongs in regulations.
But we did get it in under the collaborative approach in the policy, which is fine.
Mm.
That this would need to be, regularly updated. And
Yeah, I feel like this is granular
redundant.
reinforcement
Yeah.
for what was already stated broadly up top there.
I think so too. I mean, I think we should add it to regulations maybe.
I mean, the only thing that maybe we have to motion to reconsider, do we have a review? Is the word review anywhere in section 2? But I don't know, or is it implied? Is it implicit?
What, that the board is going to review the policy?
Yeah. 20% updates. Well, you know, with the updates and the presentations, there'll be opportunities for referrals. You know, at some point, we also have to just trust future boards to know how to use Robert's rules and make referrals.
Agreed.
Well, and if they have a policy committee that's so astute, they will know what they need to.
Yeah.
We're all
Ian,
gone.
sorry to interrupt, Ian, but you have a third board member who's now in attendance, just FYI.
Great. Oh, great. Did he come? How long has he been here?
7:06.
7:06.
that?
Okay. Let's raise him up.
Thank you.
Mr. Corcoran, welcome.
Thank
Hello,
you. Sorry I
Sean.
was late. Thank you. Sorry I was late. I was coaching Little League Baseball.
Ah, good for you. Isn't that the life?
Yes,
My
it was great.
favorite.
All right. So just to get you up to speed, we're just finishing off reviewing the generative AI policy as old business that is in its second cycle, coming back through the policy committee. I believe it was approved as a first read with some recommendations to make adjustments based on Jody's notes from CABE. And we have basically we edited section 2 to defer the specifics of the committee to the admin and make it a board request that the admin do so. And that passed with a 2-0 vote. And then we just also handled section 3 here, where it dove more deeply into the granular nature of managing generative AI. And this was basically the motion was to remove this section and refer it to the admin for development into regulations. And that passed with a 2-0 vote. So now we are on section 4, where we're looking at the draft of a mandated review process. And we were just about to discuss, we were sort of just starting to discuss the notes that Jody left here in red. And basically like feeling that this was also maybe perhaps too granular for policy and would be better suited to remove and refer to the admin for regulation development.
I
So that's
see
kind
Anne
of,
Marie waving at us.
oh, sorry, again, all right, Anne Marie, go. I can't see with the shared
Oh,
screen.
you're on mute.
Feel free to just pipe up whenever you have something to say and we'll figure it out.
Okay, thanks. I've been using the virtual raise my hand feature, but I'm not sure if that's the best way to do that. So I just noticed that right now, regardless of what we decide here, right now as written, section 4 doesn't quite match what we have now revised in section 2. So we just want to make sure that that the two sections now match, because I think the revisions that we made in section 2 now will have an
Incorporate
impact. Will have an impact on what happens here. So I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that.
Do you see anything in this section though, Anne Marie, that we haven't stated in section 2?
No, it might be like a little bit now where it's redundant, or if we feel like this section should stay, then we might need to change the language a little bit
Okay.
to match
I
what's
don't-
in section.
I don't think it should stay. I think we already said it.
And I think also like if we remove and refer to admin, then
We can look at the whole thing and
it can
in
be
its
fine
entirety.
tuned to match and suit very particularly. So
Okay. That would be good.
I'll just make the motion, I guess. I'll move to remove section 4 and refer it to admin for development into regulation.
Second.
Um,
Agree.
I'm seconding, so don't.
Sean, do you have any sorry, I just want to make sure that he has an opportunity to speak on the matter.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I have no issues with that.
Okay. Dr. Ackerman, sorry, go ahead.
No, that all I wanted to say was, Sean, don't let me. I was the only one here, so I was seconding everything. So, but don't let me step on your toes, okay?
Yeah.
I don't want to get in the way of your flow. Keep it going.
All right. So all in favor of removal and referral, say aye.
I
Aye.
Aye. All right, that passes 3-0. And that should conclude, well, let me get this done here. All right, so everything in yellow highlight is going to be remove and refer. Very well. All right, so just to wrap it up in a bow, motion to accept, I'll move that we accept P 6131.3273 as amended.
Second that.
All right, any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that passes 3-0.
Thank you. I like it. Thanks for
Good.
doing all the work, guys.
Well, we just
And
handed off
gals.
a bunch of work to you.
We're excited about doing it. Let's go.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you
are.
all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop
And
the share
attendance is
here.
next, and we need to focus on this for sure.
Yes.
Anne Marie is
All
like
right.
on it.
So, Anne Marie, are you prepared to project and present and kind of, do the whole thing here? Or do you want me to project the document?
I'm not prepared to present and project, but I could adjust on the fly if needed.
No, I'll project. I got no problem doing that.
Clint,
Oh, I
no,
can
thank-
present, however. That I
Say again?
misspoke. I'm not prepared to project, but I can present.
Okay, yes, all right, I'll project and you could present and we'll get through this thing. At 5113. All right. Just the policy one. All right, stand by. I'm just gonna export it into Word.
the last time we looked at this was in 2018 before COVID.
Oh, wow.
Susan, you're stealing my thunder here a little bit.
Sorry, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Almost there. Stand by. Okay, here we go. All right. Anne Marie?
All right, thank you, Chairman Thomas. So I'm really excited to present to you today the draft policy or our proposed revisions to the attendance policy, which is policy 5113. And I want to, kind of just give you a little background here. Sometime in June, Chairman Washington wrote an email to both myself and Superintendent Austin. I guess she had met with a committee of teachers who approached her and said that they were concerned about this policy, which had not been revised since 2018. And they believed that the policy needed to be reviewed because, it needed some updates. There had been several updates from the State Department of Education and also the legislative body that had not been reflected in our policy. Two that I can kind of speak to specifically where there were some specific language regarding mental health days for students, and also some language regarding military students. And so those are just two off the, that needed to be included in our policy that had not, for whatever reason, had not been included as updates in our policy. And then there was some other language around chronic absenteeism and what it means to be truant, the definition of in attendance. So there are a variety of things. I brought together a team of administrators, at least one administrator from every school. Sometimes there was both an assistant principal and a principal. that worked on this policy with me this summer. Now, some people might say, well, wouldn't it be good if you had teachers on that committee? Unfortunately, in the summertime, we don't have teachers that work, but we did first collect some feedback from teachers. Teachers that wanted, of course, revisions to the policy gave us feedback before they went away on their summer vacation. And then after this policy was finished, just recently, I sent it to the union for feedback, and they gave us feedback on the policy, on the regulations that we've proposed, and also on our tiered interventions. So I was really happy to kind of get their input on this proposal that we've kind of brought forward to you now for approval. Some highlights that the other thing I wanted to kind of bring to your attention is when we were looking to revise the policy, we did a lot of research. We looked at Vernon Public Schools. We looked at Vernon Public Schools had just did a major revision to their policy. So I believe that their policy was updated in the springtime of just this year, March 2025. We looked at East Lyme, Old Lyme, Westport, Glastonbury, so a variety of different school districts. To kind of put together this policy. A couple of highlights I want to, bring forward to your attention in terms of things that I want you to notice. This policy is more reflective of a policy and is not reflective of a regulation. We really felt like the old policy was more written like a regulation. It defines more clearly what it means to be present or in attendance during a school day. It includes language about the mental health days that I had mentioned before and extended absences for children of service members. Those were required things that were supposed to be in the policy that just had never been updated. It shares that schools will reach out to parents and guardians when students are absent. And that was supposed to be required language that was included but had not been updated. It outlines the responsibility of the student to secure and complete missing work. And it includes information on the dismissal of students for reasons related to safety and security. There's also some language about in the regulations, which we don't have to get into right now because I know this is about policy, but if you do have questions about the regulations or the tiered interventions that we've updated, I can provide you with information on that. So, here, as you can see, the policy is much shorter. Again, to reflect more of the policy in terms of the what, whereas our regulations that we've revised are much more detailed, so that it could support what schools are doing to support students that need assistance, whether they're struggling to come to school or just need more detail. So you can see here the information on mental health days, which is a state mandate that that students are able to take at least one mental health day per semester, or a total of 2 per year. Now, they do count toward chronic absenteeism. They are not, they're not free days essentially. And then also there's information on children of servicemen members.
And that's in a national compact that we have for military children. And our counselors really get training in the compact annually. So that's something really important. And I'm surprised that we didn't have it in the policy, but we've always followed that practice. And I think that's why Miranda's online.
It might be.
Do we want to elevate her and have her join in the conversation?
Well, I'd like to see if she thinks this will meet the need.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I can also say there's some information in our regulations to support our children of service members in terms of if they have to miss time and them getting work in advance. So we do have that in our regulations. Again, additional support for those children.
Miranda, Ms. Chapman, do you have anything to add? You want to jump in?
I don't have anything to add. I think as Anne Marie said, it's also, I think, in the policy that addresses the compact. I'm just interested because I want to be able to support having as many people in school as much as possible. So I'm just really trying to follow to make sure that I can relay and reinforce whatever the school board decides. with our military families.
I'm
But I
looking
think,
to see if the compact is in there under the different legal references.
I can't see the bottom, so I'm not,
Let's see, I'm gonna do a quick scroll down here.
I don't remember, I have to say, I don't remember any specific language about a compact, but we did include language that, you know, was specifically mentioned by, in that state, in the state policy.
So maybe,
so,
Miranda, if you send us the compact and we can at least
Yes.
designate
Yeah,
that as,
we will,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
next,
Yeah.
yeah, the compact language actually says that the local board or official may include 10 days of excused absence, and the Connecticut legislature in their language said must. So I
Okay.
think having that language that the legislation put forth
okay,
is
better.
it's I don't want to say better
Yeah,
because we want kids in school, but
Right.
it upped the compact language.
Mhm.
Actually, so Ian, I don't think adding the compact is helpful because the state language is stronger.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I wanted, thank you, Miranda.
I think it should just have the language of the compact. Forget, I know the state statute is law, but the compact is, to me, weightier.
Weightier. Can you
Yes.
explain that a little bit more, Dr. Ackerman? I'm sorry.
Well, it's one thing to have to mention just the law, but the other thing is to actually say that the you know the the compact goes across the country. It's much weightier than just, in my view anyway, than just a state law. Um, it speaks to the military in the entire United States, and that to me is much more. I don't know,
Yes,
more-
I agree, but I think in terms of what it does for the students, I think it's a little bit stronger language in the state statute. But I could be interpreting that wrong. Miranda, what is your sense of that?
And in most cases, interstate compact supersedes all state or local laws and policies unless the local one is stronger. And the Connecticut one made it a must versus a may. I was just trying to look up and see. I thought the actual compact was in a different policy on Groton's board, but I'm not able to look at my phone and do this simultaneously.
Okay.
But the language of the compact, although nice, is outweighed by the language of the Connecticut legislature in this one instant of the compact.
I understand that, but I still think that the compact should be cited.
I'll jump in real quick on that. I'm in the same camp as Dr. Ackerman on this one. I don't think it would hurt in any way just to note the fact that the compact exists. Well, right now the state law does have stronger language and therefore supersedes this compact. That is not always necessarily going to be the case. Things could change.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
Sure.
So yeah, having like a
we can
cross
add the
reference.
citation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be good to keep it there. We might even, there may be other areas that need to be looked at too with regard to that.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just gonna add, just put in a note to add compact citation, and we can
Okay.
kind of do the nitty gritty of it
Thank you.
back
That's
end.
Yeah.
And looking, unless I'm missing, not finding it, I don't see a compact reference in the regular board policies.
Okay.
Yeah, I had
So that would be
not
something
seen
to
it.
look at.
I had not seen it in the former policy. That's not something that, unless I'm, you could see the old policy there. It was not in the, unless I missed it. Was not in the old policy. So I'd have to find that somewhere. I mean,
Can
no
you
problem
find that
looking
for
at
us and send it to us, Miranda?
Miranda, was
Uh,
the compact in existence when we were there? the former policy?
It was signed into existence in Connecticut in 2009.
Mm.
I don't remember. I know you had said the date that this policy was done initially,
Sorry,
but
I
I don't recall.
I lost connection just a bit there. Anne Marie, I
Yes.
kind of cut out there in the middle of your comment.
Oh,
Um,
oh, I said that it wasn't in, unless I missed it, it wasn't in the original policy that was written in or updated in 2018. So I would just have to do some research and find that, unless it's incorporated in some other policy. But I can look around and see where that is. Maybe it's in some other policy that we have here in the district.
I feel like we have a document, Miranda, that you've passed out to the superintendents regarding the compact.
We do have the compact that was signed by the governor at the time in 2009. I know some districts have it specifically added into their policy. I am not the official on whether something's it's a state law. Does it have to be included? I know a lot of things go by what CABE is recommending, and this isn't necessarily something that impacts us statewide, so it might not be on their radar. But I will look at the other local districts and see what reference they use and what they have,
Okay.
and then send it to Anne Marie so she can kind of use her judgment on what would be the best move for Groton to make
Thank
or
you.
not make.
Thank you. Thank you, Miranda.
That might be something we want to bring up when we do our next superintendent liaison meeting,
Mm-hmm.
Referencing the compact in policy.
Right. And Susan, you're gonna drive me to that.
I'm
Sorry to
driving
get
you.
lost
I'm
in
picking you up
meeting.
tomorrow before the 4:30 meeting.
Yes. But so I don't get lost in Navy housing again and miss the meeting.
That's right.
All right, so I'd entertain a motion to add. Oh, you know what? We didn't put this on the floor, did we? We were just in the presentation mode. So I'll move. Let's see, what was the number of this?
5113.
P5. All right, so I'll move. We accept P5113 and recommend it to go forward to the board as a first reading.
I second.
Second Cochran. All right, so that being the case, I'll also move to amend that we add some compact citation as appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Second.
All right, all in favor of adding the compact citation?
Aye.
Aye. I missed your vote, Dr. Ackerman. I presume you're an aye?
I yes.
Okay, got it. All right, very well then. That amendment passes and we can continue discussion on the policy in general.
You know what? I need a definition of a mental health day. I see what it says here, and it says about, I can barely see, to attend to their psychological and mental well-being or emotional well-being. Like, I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
All right, I'm going to try to give you an example. It might be that I'm feeling a little down emotionally, and so the State Department of Ed, this is post-COVID, they wanted to make sure that students are feeling, I guess students feel like they have the ability, if they're feeling down, to take a day. Actually, they get up to 2 days, as I said, per year, without explanation, so to speak, to take these days and not be in attendance at school. And
Get over it.
this is required language that must be in our policy, Dr. Ackerman.
So it's required by state law?
It is required by state law.
Understood.
I think in the past,
Insane.
I think in the past, though, can I just bring levity to this? That kids can feel sick, they can have fever, but they can also be like dysregulated or not feeling well inside emotionally.
Yes.
And it can cause them to feel sick. So, I mean, it's a sick day. It's just a mental health day.
Yeah, there's a lot of students, and I don't mean to, I don't in any way want to sound like this is not valid. There are students, especially after immediately following COVID, that they have a lot of anxiety. They feel, again, they feel anxious. Maybe they feel like,
As long as we feed into that, that's going to continue to happen. I mean, okay.
well,
I
again,
feel
there are a
sick.
lot of things that I think that kids feel that are very that they're valid. You know, it's hard to make a judgment when on mental health, because you just don't know what it's very easy when kids are physically ill, but you don't really know what kids are experiencing on the inside. So
I get that.
Yep.
I get that, and I support that. I support that. You can be sick because you're feeling, but to blame it on COVID is going to be 25 years past, and we're still going to be saying, "Oh
Well, no,
well."
I'm just saying
when
this
your
came in
father
after
had
this came in
COVID.
after COVID. I'm not blaming it on COVID. I'm just saying this came in after COVID.
I know, and I'm okay with a kid feeling down and you know unexplained. They don't have a fever, they don't have a sore throat, unexplained. I understand that, but to keep associating it with, oh, after COVID, this is happening. That, like, get over it. Um, there's nothing wrong with having a sick day because you're not up to going to school.
Well, they're
And
not allowed to take 2 days off in a row.
oh, I understand that too. I
They have
read
to
that.
get over it because they only get
Yeah,
one day.
like, you know, I understand that, but please, you understand where, okay, all right, I'll be quiet.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely understand your perspective on that. It's very hard. I feel like, as a district, we're really want to push good attendance and making sure that students are with us every day, and that we really want them to be in school. And I feel like that
It was full when we got back from her walk.
Mr. Sean, just check your mic, please. I think you might be live. You might want to mute. There you go.
That we want them with us, and we feel like they'll be when they're at school, they'll be happier, they'll be involved and around their classmates. But kids do struggle at times, and
No,
so
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, if I could just jump in real quick on this. I understand the state law, it's language that we have to have. But to be honest, I mean, this is nothing new in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I recall high school, and there were times where there was like a series of tests and projects due, and basketball games and series of events. And I remember saying, I'm just taking a day, and I would just, talk to my parents, and we'd arrange for me to stay home for the day. And, and they just said I was feeling under the weather,
Yeah.
and that
That's
was
a, yeah,
like,
you're,
it didn't have to be disclosed as like mental health day or not. It's just, I just took a day, and, it's totally legitimate, and it has,
I agree.
it kind of, the language was put in during the COVID times, but I'm with Dr. Ackerman on this, that is, it doesn't have to be associated with COVID either. It's not associated to COVID. So I guess,
oh, this was put in
I
during
never,
COVID times.
exactly.
Mhm.
There's just a time where, now my only concern though with this is that, is this a thing that you have to declare on a form of paper where it says mental
No,
health day?
no,
No.
no.
So
No.
what kind of excuse does your mother write then?
Actually, they don't have to write an excuse at all. They really just can say that this is, they're out, and it just counts as really one of their unexcused days.
Okay. So that my concern would have been like a HIPAA violation.
No, there's no label attached to it. It just counts as an excused day. They don't have to label it as a mental health day. There's no stigma attached to this in any way. No
Understood.
HIPAA
Yeah.
violation.
Because it could also be used in a different way too, like if it was
Yes, of
defined as
course.
mental health day. So I'm
So
glad to hear
didn't I
that.
read
Obviously you can-
somewhere? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Didn't I read
I was
somewhere
just gonna
though
say,
that,
like,
that
privacy concerns, but go ahead, Dr. Ackerman.
I'm so sorry. Didn't I
That's-
read somewhere here that they had to have a written excuse for being absent? Or did I not? Did I miss? Did I?
There are excused days and unexcused days, and after the first, I think 9 days, they don't need any note at all. And then after a certain number of days, like after day 10 or something, or after day 9, then they have to have, notes and things. So, if this can count as one of their unexcused days.
Okay.
I see.
Well, I'm,
And then then they
sorry,
have to
go-
have a note, right?
Then they have to have notes. Yes.
Yeah. So what did they say?
Well,
So
in this case, if they can't take a mental health day, if they're used up on all of their unexcused days.
right, if they used all their unexcused days and they've also used the 2 mental health days. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
And then what does the excuse say?
They have no excuse. They can't.
Well, then they would have
Well,
to,
don't you have to have a written excuse if you have one of those unexcused days?
I
Is
guess
it-
I don't know. It's hard for me because this came on after, obviously, as when I'm an adult, and then I have 2 children that I didn't let them take these kind of days.
Oh, dear Lord.
It's complicated.
It is. That's
They make it
insane.
so complicated.
so there is no requirement for extended absences to like provide a doctor's note in the appropriate circles with all
I
due.
guess probably they could provide a doctor's note in that situation.
I mean, back in the day with COVID, they were getting notes for COVID, and because that was, they were taking so many days off and weren't allowed back. But now that's just a thing of the past.
I'm sure that they could get a provider to provide a note for this.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. All right.
I'm having a hard time with this. I don't know how I'm going to approve this.
Well, just keep remembering that that's required language from the State Department of Ed. Actually, I think that's not even from the State Department of Ed. I think that came right from the legislature.
Okay. I'm still
All right.
having a hard time. All right. I'll be
Well,
quick.
I would I don't see much point. I'm done discussing it as far as I'm concerned. But if any other people want to continue to discuss it, I don't. It's coming from the legislature. We don't have much power to change some of it. It looks like a lot of the nuts and bolts have been shifted into regulation. So I'm good with that. My one concern about the HIPAA and the privacy issues are addressed and not a factor. So I would right now as it stands, the motion is on the floor to pass this as a first reading to the board to consider. As amended with that citation note at the end. So any further discussion from the board members? Or any further commentary from the administration?
Personally, I have no issue with this. I think bringing it up to the board is a good decision.
Okay. All right, so if there's no more discussion, then all in favor of passing this as a first read to the board, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. Okay, that passes 3-0. I'm not going to ask for anything. It's a sweep. All right, that brings us to the next item. Let's
So
see.
this is the library material review. And this has been sent out 616112 and 616113 and 616114. We sent it to all of our library media specialists to get their feedback. And I think Erica was able to include that. I think most of them were very satisfied, it's based on the law. And it, there are some forms that need to be filled out if families would object to any materials that are in the library.
Superintendent Austin, just a quick question. Or should we tackle this in numerical order?
Yeah,
Do the 1-2 P and then 1-3 P.
1-3. Yep.
4 P. Okay.
Yep.
All right. If you want to continue on with the presentation, I'll get the document ready to project.
Okay, thanks. So I feel like we had just done this not too long ago. I'm looking for the date. And Anne Marie, if you want to go and have some dinner, go ahead. I got this.
Are you sure you don't need anything?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
That was very helpful.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. So this is really a complete CABE revision. You can see it's all in green. And so it'll be noted when it's approved, adopted with this year. But it's really that library material review and reconsideration policy based on really the librarians' work in the schools. So it says the Groton Board of Education understands that on occasion a member of the public will wish to lodge a complaint against instructional materials used in the classroom or available in the school library media center. Consideration of requests to reconsider and remove materials display or student programs is limited to individuals with vested interests. So they would really have to be a parent of a student in the school. It can't be someone from Florida who's on a political campaign to come and, raid our libraries. So,
Just a quick point of information on that, if I
Yep.
could. Is the definition of a vested interest in the regulations?
That's a very good question.
We may want to add some
Oh,
language.
wait, individuals with vested interest is right in the policy. It's on the next page.
Okay.
Means any school staff member employed by the local regional board of education, a parent or guardian of a student currently enrolled in the school at the time a reconsideration form is filled out, or any student currently enrolled in the school at that time. There's also a definition of school library staff member and what the word remove means. Deliberately taking library materials out of the library.
Can you scroll up to the definition of remove?
Yes, I'm sorry. The definition of what?
Remove. Susan just said there's a definition of what.
Yeah, that's on the second page, Ian, if you go to library materials reviewed. Here, yeah, there's the definitions. And they're right within the policy. We've talked about that, how that can be very convenient to have it right in the policy.
I agree.
Oh, taking out, isn't that the term used for taking out a library book?
Well, they're saying that they're taking library materials out of a library collection.
Yeah, removing it from a library selection, that's one thing. Taking out library material out of a library collection, that might mean taking it
They're
out.
checking it out.
Yeah,
They're
so
checking it out, not taking.
yeah, so I would change it to remove. Literally,
You're trying to
removing.
define remove.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Expelling it from the library.
Eliminating it from.
Eliminating it from the library collection. I like that.
Yeah.
I'll put that on my.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to step away for a pet situation real quick. What was change?
Dr. Ackerman brought up a good point when it says you're taking it out of the library collection, you're thinking of checking out a book. But
Understood.
she used the word eliminating it from the library collection instead of taking it out.
So we would be replace
Deliberately
taking with
with eliminating. And I would think you're eliminating it from a library collection.
Yeah.
okay.
Instead of out
Instead
of,
of
I
out
would
of.
say from.
Yep.
Material from a library collection. Good catch, Dr. A.
Oh, God, you can't take it out of me, can you? The
No,
English teacher.
you can't take it out of you. That's for sure.
Without objection, we accept these minor changes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hear no
They
objections.
talk about a
so we'll
review
just accept
committee
it.
on the any library, so you'd have a committee. Once the decision has been made by the review committee on any library or other educational materials, such material cannot be subject to a new request for review and reconsideration for a period of 3 years from the same person, I believe.
We're going back up to the main body,
Yeah.
or
That was like one of the last paragraphs. I just wanted to mention that. The school district may consolidate any request for review and reconsideration of the same challenged library or other educational materials. And once the decision has already been made by the review committee on any library or other educational materials, such material cannot be subject to a new request or for review for a period of 3 years.
seems reasonable to me.
Do you think
Any other?
extricating is a better word? You think extricating is a better
Instead of
word than,
eliminating,
yeah,
I don't know, extricating sounds like I'm digging a hole.
all right, okay,
I don't know.
I'll be quiet. I could beat this to death.
Words matter, huh?
Yeah.
And then it looks like there's a regulation that kind of coordinates with it. And then with the regulation, there are forms to fill out so that people would have those right at their fingertips should they need them.
Okay. Do we have citations? Other legal
Oh.
references?
Yeah, where are the legal references? I will ask that question.
All right. Well, I'll make a note here to add legal references.
Good catch, Ian.
Okay. All right, so any further discussion on the motion to approve P5? Oh, sorry. Oh, wait, no, wait, that was 5113. We didn't put this on the floor yet for a vote. So, I would entertain a motion to pass what is this?
616112.
6161.12.
Mm-hmm. 0.12.
First read to the board. Does anyone?
Moved.
So moved by Ackerman. Do we have a second?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, seconded by Corcoran. Um, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Say aye.
I,
Right.
Aye. Passes 3-0. None opposed, none abstaining. All right, so we are set with 616112. Moving on to 616113.
And this one is really about how to maintain our libraries and keep them current and up to date. And this is the hard work of our library media specialist. You know, recognizing that we need varied materials that interest all kinds of kids, and they need to be developmentally appropriate at the age level, whether it's an elementary library, a middle school library, a high school library. And it actually says the Library Media Center is an important place for voluntary inquiry, the dissemination of information and ideas, and the promotion of free expression and free access to ideas for students. I love that. And it also says that the library media specialist is professionally trained to curate and develop a collection that shall provide students with access to the widest array of age appropriate and grade level appropriate library and other educational materials. The board directs the superintendent to create an administrative regulation, which I think has already been done here for me, and that establishes a procedure for a certified library media specialist to continually review the library and other educational materials within the Library Media Center. And that happens and is ongoing. And I know that just recently, BAM Books had asked me for probably the fourth summer in a row if Groton would like to receive free books. And so every time you go to check out, because I went there several times with the grandkids, and I would buy books for Groton and buy books for them. And they would ask, do you want to donate for Groton Public Schools? And we ended up with, I think, about 9 or 10 boxes of these beautiful books. And my library media specialist had actually gone to BAM and picked out and curated book collections that they wanted to add to their library. And that was all free of charge. So that was pretty exciting. But that's what they do ongoing. That's kind of their role that they play, a very important role. And you're right, I just put references down too.
Excellent. All right. Any comments there, Dr. Ackerman?
no,
All right. I have no objections or comments on this. I think it's pretty straightforward and looks like it covers all the bases and just kind of sets the ground, frame.
Yep.
And the regulations. Yep, I think we're in good shape. Sean, anything to add? I'll take that as a nope.
Sorry, I'm trying to get off mute. No, nothing to add.
Okay, very well then. I'd entertain a motion to pass 6161.13 as a first read to the board.
on your turn.
All you have to do is say
I
move.
second. I move.
No,
Yes, move.
yeah, all right, all right.
Ooh,
Moved by Corcoran and seconded by Ackerman.
yes,
That- Okay, very well then. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of 616113, say aye.
I,
Aye. All right, none opposed, none abstaining. 616113 passes as first read. All right, and that brings us up to 616114.
This
Oh.
is slightly redundant. The last paragraph talks about the library media specialist being professional and trained to curate and develop displays and programs. And the other one says that they're, trained professionals who curate book selections. So this is pertinent to library displays and programs that are provided within the library. So they just say they're a critical resource for voluntary inquiry They kind of get kids excited about the books when they display them in certain ways. And the Groton board recognizes the library displays are provided for interest, information, enlightening the students, and giving them a wide range variety of divergent viewpoints, and helps with research and independent interest. So these three policies kind of tell you the importance of a library media specialist in our schools.
Comments? Or, sorry, let's do the motion. I'll entertain a motion to pass 616114 as a first read to the board.
Second.
Oh,
So moved by Ackerman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cochran. Very well. Comments, discussion?
We need references, so I'll get those.
I'll add a note. I was thinking about quibbling with the word diverging viewpoints, but I see varied and I think you might have misspoke when you were reading. You said
Did I
divergent.
maybe say it wrong?
Yeah, but I see it says diverging.
Oh, diverging.
Yes, which combined with the word varied and diverging, I think that covers it.
You think it's okay?
Yeah, I'm good, and it was all going to be just a quibble anyhow. Like I'm
Okay.
on board with this. I understand why it's separate from the book policy because there are
It's a
presentations and things that
right,
happen,
right.
displays and things at the library. So this sort of just make sure we cover that as well. Now, I guess my only question would be, hearkening back to the 616112 policy about material. So if someone, a vested interest had a concern with a display, would it follow the same process if they wanted to file a complaint and have it reviewed and possibly removed?
Yeah, I think it could absolutely follow the same process.
Right, because that original
Yeah,
policy that we discussed, it said material,
right,
not just books, right?
right,
Right, so that would cover everything.
right. And
and
and the regulation just sets the stage for how to go about that. How do you file that complaint? How do you register the complaint? Have it in writing, and then make it known so that it goes under review.
Right, right, and there's an above board process that's
Mhm.
transparent and accessible, and
Yep.
as long as there's a due process that's available for people to pursue, I think we're in great shape.
Okay.
Ian,
Yes.
What does this say? And there's no what here. All it says is the board recognizes that they're providing interest and so on and so forth, and that the specialist is professionally trained, um, and that they're critical. Doesn't say anything.
So I think when they do displays in the library and have book collections, whether it's, award-winning books or nonfiction versus fiction, and, anytime that they're doing something in the teaching realm for students, that they might set up a display to showcase certain books. That's what I'm thinking. And then programs would be specific programs or lessons around maybe research, um,
I
for
would
students.
say, I think I know what you're saying, Dr. Ackerman, that you don't necessarily see a policy that's guiding any sort of action, maybe? Is that?
Yeah, it doesn't say that the displays must be critical in serving us as resources, or that the board I, I don't know, must hire professionals who will provide the, you know, All it says is that we recognize it. That's what policy is that?
Well,
And that we acknowledge it, that it doesn't say anything.
I hear your point, and I understand it. I'm trying to formulate a response here because I feel what the intent of this policy, as with the other one about the books, is that it's basically establishing that the board recognizes what the library specialist job is and is allowing them to do it under this policy. And specifically identifying that this is part of their job. So that should someone from the community or vested interest of some kind have concerns that they can't just say it's not in the job description or it's not allowable. You know, that would be my counterpoint if I had to come up with one. Now I would be open to adding a sentence or two to this to clarify that, you know, because the way I'm reading it, I assumed that intent is that we're basically issuing the board protection and also providing a pathway for due process for anyone that does have concerns,
Mhm.
to pursue those concerns. But we're also offering board protection over the specialist saying that, like, look, you know, we recognize that there's a job to be done here and it's multifaceted, and this is one of those facets. So this just sort of sets the stage so that there's a legal framework where the specialist has protection of the board, but the board is providing a pathway for the community to voice their concerns in an accessible manner.
Well,
And in the first policy, it really is around the books that are in the library, the curated books that are in the library. And this goes a little further to talk about the displays and then the programs that are in the library.
Right. So the one,
and
two,
you know what? I think I need to reread that. I think I
Okay.
need to reread the one on the books as well. I read that in a real hurry, as I did with this until just now, and I'm seeing that. And I agree with Ian. I agree with you that with everything that you said, but I still think the policy has to say that we must do something or it shall do something.
Well, I think the good news is that if we pass this, then you have about 2 weeks to figure it out, and you
We
can,
can look at it. And
Well,
Erica will be back from vacation.
yeah,
Oh, all right. Okay.
we can have that conversation with the full board, and I'm definitely in
I'll look
support.
at it too, Andrea, because I agree with you.
Okay.
It seems a little redundant to me, and I don't know why they
But
separated that one.
I think there is a sentence or two that could be added to make it specific, like that the intent
Yeah.
of the policy is to do this.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And where,
and I'll look at the other one as well, because
yeah, and
I
that,
have to, I have to, I rushed through that.
yeah, I agree with you, yeah, and thank you for bringing that up because, yeah, I think that concern would apply to all three of these policies. Although I think it's probably most specifically already addressed in the 1-2 policy. But we should probably have something in the 1-3 and the 1-4 that sort of ties it all back to the 1-2. If that's not too many numbers to throw at you.
So in fact, I can't find the Bloomin' thing. I know I read it, but I don't have it here in my packet, so. But
Yeah,
Erica's on vacation, so she
Yeah, but I
can't
can
send
make
me
you a
these
copy
again.
when I see you tomorrow.
yeah.
Oh, all right, excellent. Okay, and can you
There you
make
go.
the three that we're gonna be looking at again,
Yeah.
that I'm gonna be
Absolutely.
looking at it? Okay,
Yeah.
The
okay, great.
6,
Thank you.
1, 1, 2, and the 1-3 and the 1-4.
And did you make any adjustments on these that you want to send to me? I put notes on my page, but if you wanted to send back, if you,
Yeah, I'll send all the Word documents that I just made
okay,
adjustments.
thank you. Appreciate it.
to-
Nice job, Ian.
Thanks.
Woo-hoo.
Well, let's get
We
the
did a
vote.
lot.
Yeah,
We're not done yet.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a motion on the floor to pass 616114 as a first read to the board. Any further discussion?
You know what? I know we're gonna send it to the board, but maybe we should just do it. Can't we just send it back to ourselves to look at it again?
Uh, we could, but I wouldn't want to break apart the set for one, because they're all kind of
Alright, okay.
interconnected. And
Doesn't mean
two,
that you
like,
couldn't look at it
we
offline
may
and
benefit.
make the suggestions to each other.
Yeah,
I'm
draft
sorry, say
some,
that
well,
again.
not necessarily to each other, but just. It would just, I think Susan was suggesting that we take a look at it offline and come up with some ideas about sentences that we could add to address the concerns you just raised about it not being specific in the what it's trying to accomplish.
Yeah. No, I
You know, just
wonder,
draft it up, and then we could,
what
talk
about
about
the
it.
other two, the other ones that the other ones that even I passed?
Right, the
But we
six.
think that, look at them again?
Well, they're
We,
gonna be
could we
up at the board and
undo that?
they have to go through the board and they have to come back to the policy committee anyway for a second read before it goes back
Okay.
to the board again.
I'll get
So-
you a whole set, Dr. Ackerman, when you come in tomorrow for negotiations
I think the way the
Okay.
of
system
what we talked
All
about.
right.
we're in good shape to make the
I'm
adjustment.
sorry.
That's all right.
Now, so I think we're in good
Okay.
shape to pass it, and then we take some time with it individually, and have some suggestions ready for the board to consider, and then when it comes back to policy committee, we can make those adjustments and really get them tuned up to address the concerns that you raised.
Okay. Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, guys.
All right. So any further discussion? All right. All in favor of passing 616114 as first read, say aye.
Bye.
Aye. All right. That no objections, or sorry, no opposition, no abstentions. Passes 3-0. So that will go to the board. And that is the end of our agenda. That being the case, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Doc-
adjourn. Sean, you gotta learn that nobody steps on my motion to adjourn ever.
Yeah, I would
Motion to
never, Andrew.
adjourn.
I got you. You deserve it.
Dr. A is for adjourn. All right.
Great.
So, no objections. We are adjourned.
Thank
Great.
Thank you
you.
all for coming.
Good job.